Hey, I'm Jeff with AvidMax, and today we've got the whole lineup of the Waterworks-Lamson reels with us. I wanted to take a little bit of time and just kind of show you each of them individually, maybe give you a comparison of them, and help you figure out which one is best for you. So there are a few features that are similar about all of these reels, and it's actually pretty nice. So one of the things that you're going to notice that is similar about all of these reels is the type of drag system that they have in here. So it's a sealed conical drag system in all of their reels, from kind of the entry-level reels all the way up to their really top-of-the-line premium reels. And that's great for a couple of reasons. First, the system being sealed means it's not going to get kind of that grease that you find on some reels. That's not going to get on anything you have. It's all sealed in there. But the other thing that's nice about that conical system is it really does provide a lot of drag. So even on some of the smaller reels that you might be buying here, as you crank these knobs down, and each of them have a little bit different style, but all of them are still fairly easy to get a hold of there, even if the reel's wet. They're all going to do a really good job of providing you not only with a lot of drag in case you're chasing that monster, but also a real good range of drag so that you can make kind of those on-the-fly adjustments that are going to help out fighting that fish the exact right way, no matter how much it weighs. Also, all of these reels are assembled right here in the US, and other than a couple of their entry-level models, they're also 100% made in the US. All the materials are made here, and which is just a great thing. We wanted to give you kind of a look at the lineup as we go. So starting down here at the end, we have one of their most entry-level reels here is the liquid reel. And it's pretty nice. Like all their other reels, you're going to be able to pop these spools off and swap them out. You can do that on all their reels. That way, if you've got a couple of different kinds of fly line, you'll be able to have a few extra spools that go with it, kind of swap some things in and out that way. But one of the nice things about both the liquid reels and the remix reels, and they use the same spools actually, is they've also got some of these colored sleeves here. And the nice thing about these colored sleeves is that on both the liquid and the remix, you can buy a 3-pack of these reels. And these 3-packs, as you can see right in here, both of them are going to be the same. They'll have kind of the one full reel in the middle that's got case and spool, and then 2 additional spools. So you get 3 spools in total, and you can put these 3 different colored sleeves in there. And that way, as you're swapping the spools in and out of your reels, if you want to make sure that you always put the same colored sleeve on with the same kind of fly line, you'll be able to know as soon as you pick it up which fly line you have on there for that day. It just helps keep them real nice and organized. They also come in this great case, which is just going to keep you from getting your reels all messed up and dirty as you're throwing them in your car or in your truck, whatever you're doing there. While the internal drag parts of the liquid reel are all machined, both the spool and the case are cast, and then they're covered with kind of a polyurethane outside coating. As you move up to the remix here, most of the things on the remix are going to be the same as the liquid. You can see on the back here, it has a little bit different style of a knob here. The ridges on the back there for the drag might make it a little bit easier to get a hold of, but the biggest difference is going to be that the outside case on this one is made out of CNC machined aluminum, and as you're just kind of holding it in your hand, you can tell it feels a little bit smoother, feels a little bit more high quality there. And then the other thing that you can then get when you move up to the remix reels, and you'll see we have a couple of different versions of this here, is they have an HD version of these, and we'll pop the spools out of 2 of these just so that we can show you the difference in them here. So the only difference between the regular and the HD is you're going to see the HD has a full frame on it, which is just going to be nice, especially for kind of those heavier weight fly lines. It's not going to try to jump out of the reel at all, and just having the full frame around it is going to make it a lot more stout, and it'll be better, especially as you're fighting maybe some of those bigger fish that require a lot bigger line there as well. Again, with the remix here, they'll fit these different colored sleeves, and with the remix you can also order them in the 3-pack, which is going to have the 1 full reel in the case as well as 2 additional spools that go with that. As you move up the line a little bit more here, you get to the Guru, and the biggest difference between the Guru and the other ones is now the entire thing, both the case and the spool are made 100% out of CNC machined aluminum. You can tell when you pick it up, it's just a really stout quality reel. It feels pretty lightweight, especially compared to some of these other ones. As we get up a little bit further in the line, these are going to be these ultra lightweight reels, but this has a really good feel to it. I also kind of like the way they've designed the drag knob on this one with just a few different grooves in it there, and it feels like it makes it really easy to adjust the drag as you go. The Guru, just like the Remix, also comes with an HD version there, and you can see that right here. We'll pop the frame off there. And as you see, it also has kind of the full frame around it there that's going to be a lot better for some of those bigger fly lines. Moving on from there, we have the Speedster here, and the Speedster is starting to make a few other improvements along with it. So as you can tell, compared it next to some of the other ones, maybe we'll get one that's a little bit closer in size to it here, but the Speedster is getting a little bit narrower, and the arbor on it is getting quite a bit taller. So the fact that it's getting narrower helps cut down on some of the weight. And the larger arbor is starting to really help with the retrieval speed. So as you're reeling this one in, it's going to be pulling in a lot of line really quickly, quite a bit quicker than some of these others, just due to the really high arbor. You can also see on this one, it has the hard onyx coating, and that's going to do a couple of things. First, it's going to keep it from getting nicked and scratched, but it's also really going to help from, if you happen to drop it or it's bouncing around in the back of the truck or something, it's going to resist really getting dinged or bent up very much either. As you see here on the back of this one too, they've started to make this knob so that it's actually not a full knob, but instead it's just got a few different cutouts, which means you can really get your fingers in there a lot easier to kind of adjust the drag as you're going. And like a few of the other ones it had, this also comes in a HD version, so it's got the full frame cage. Again, they're great for some of those heavier fly lines, heavier duty applications. From there we move into the light speed, and this is really where you start to see some of the bigger changes taking place. So it's got the same features as all the others in that it's going to be machined out of aluminum there. It's a little bit narrower, kind of like we saw here with the Speedster. It's got a pretty tall arbor, but you can really tell a difference between the weight in these two. And one of the things that really helps out with that is you'll see here that now the housing for the drag is actually a single unit. It's kind of machined there into the case. We'll show you the difference between these two, and that not only makes it so that it's a little bit lighter, but it also just makes it a little bit more durable. So as you can see the difference there, as this is kind of an extra piece that's been added on, and then this one, it's right there machined into the reel. As you pick it up and play with it a little bit, you can tell that it really is a really lightweight reel. You can see, like we mentioned earlier, it's a little bit narrower than a traditional reel. Here on the back side, it's got a really big oversized knob with some grooves in the side there that's going to make adjusting that drag nice and easy. Similar to the Speedster, it's got the Microlox coating on it, which is really just going to help keep it in great shape, kind of prevent those dings, chips, scratches, that sort of thing on it. From there we move into the Force SL. It's the top of the line reel here from Waterworks-Lamson, and as you pick it up and just spend a little bit of time with it, it is easy to tell why. As you can see here, there is not much to the case on this at all. If we take that off of the spool, you're going to notice that there really isn't anything to this. It's just like the Speedster there. It's got the drag housing that is one solid piece here with the rest of the frame, and as you're playing with it a little bit, you notice it really doesn't have hardly any weight to it at all. It's got the best line retrieval speed to weight ratio of any reel, and is one of the lightest reels on the market. As you play with it a little bit, you can just tell that everything about this reel has been really thought through, from the design to the function. Even though it's such a light reel, it's still got really high arbor here, which is going to let you reel that in really well. Not having anything on the sides here of your drag knob means that you can adjust it really easily, and this just really from top to bottom is a fantastic reel. From there we move on to the Arcs reel, and the Arcs reel is another amazing premium reel from Waterworks-Lamson, but it's a little bit more heavy duty than some of these other ones at the top were. As you can tell, we'll pop the spool out of it here, and it has the same full frame design that the HD ones did down here. It's also like their top end reels here. If you can see, that has the drag housing that's machined into the reel as well. And so it's not going to be quite as light as some of these other ones, but this is a lot more of a heavy duty reel that's designed for some of those heavier line applications. You also see here that they have a little cutout in the frame here. So even though it's a full frame reel, if you hook into that monster and it starts running and you don't have time to adjust the drag on it, they've put this cutout in there so that you can actually just put your hand there and be able to paw it a little bit as the fish is taken off, and slow it down, just use a little bit of a drag right there on your hand, which is just a really cool feature. As you can see here, there is a wide variety of reels to choose from, and they really do just kind of go up the line from a couple of different aspects. So even the ones down here that are kind of entry level are still going to have the really good drag system. They're still going to be interchangeable in their spools. You're going to be able to convert all of these to a right hand or left hand. But as they go up, the materials get a little bit better. So this one was all cast, and then this one was a little bit materials mixed of both cast and aluminum. And then from here on up, all of them are 100% machined aluminum. The other nice thing about a couple of these is if you're fishing with a little bit heavier line or you just need a little bit heavier duty reel, you've got a couple of them here in the middle that have the HD version, that full frame version, or you can move all the way up to the Arcs here, which has a lot better materials, feels a little bit better in your hand, and really is just going to be a little bit lighter than some of the others here, and that is also in the full frame version. The biggest differences as you kind of move up are really going to be in the area of weight, as well as the coating that's put on them. So down here, these are going to be a little bit heavier, you know, and they kind of just come with the polyurethane coating, which once you get up to something like the Force here, not only is it going to be significantly lighter than the others, but the coating that's on these is really just going to help keep them in a little bit better shape for quite a while, which, especially if you're getting one of these top of the line reels, you want to know that it's going to last for a long time. And while all of them are going to be really durable, the coatings that they put on some of these more premium models are just excellent. If you liked our video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as add any comments or suggestions down below. For more fly fishing and outdoor related videos, subscribe to our AvidMax YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.